When you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go, go.
Hello and welcome to Hockey Night in Australia. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday evening. If you're watching live, drop us a comment on YouTube or Facebook. We may see your comment if you leave it on Instagram. It's a bit of a gamble, but Doogie's nodding affirmative. Phil Taylor in first with the hello. Normal service has resumed. Jessica Calder as well. Good evening, Jessica. Of course, if you cannot watch this live, you can watch a replay of the video on YouTube or Facebook. Make sure that you like and subscribe. And of course, if you want to listen to it, download it via Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify as well. Leafs for Gordon from Andrew John Egan, and Phil Taylor with the winner. Yes, congratulations, Phil. I of course am your host.
Gets a chicken dinner.
He does. I am Gordon Goodenough. I'm joined by Andrew McDougall, Courtney Kinniston, and Sean O'Connor. Welcome, everyone. How are we all doing?
Good. It's nice to be back for another week.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Here we are.
It's
talking hockey.
Yeah, it's another massive weekend of AI, so it's good to be on.
How are you feeling, Courtney? You were sick last week. We saw you in the comments, though.
Yeah, much better this week. It's nice to be back and able to actually speak. It was, sore throat, not fun.
Yeah, no, we're glad you're back with us. But yes, let's get into the action. The results from the weekend. There were some surprises. Sean, what do you see? Take us through.
All right, round 9 results, or week 9, just for Doogie. We saw a fantastic 7 games over the weekend. We had 1 goal games. We had overtime. Like, you just look at this. The North Stars traveled to Perth and managed to lose both games, but by the thinnest of margins. You had the Lightning hang on to second place in Rurik with what was a surprising but great win over the Mustangs. You had the Ice on the road in New South Wales with 2, again, much closer games than I think anyone expected there to be. And yeah, the Brave securing, I would regard as a season-defining victory over the Bears. And then the Bears turning around the next day and going, yeah, we can put that aside. We're still in the hunt here.
I love and I did put it in my five for writing this week. The Bears and Brave game, the atmosphere, and just watching it on the stream, you could feel the atmosphere through the AI TV stream. And I think when you see that rink packed out like that and a big rivalry game, and everyone's invested, there's Bears fans there that are rowdy, the Brave fans are right into it. The two teams, they love playing against each other, and it's a bit chirpy and a bit chippy out there. Just the coverage, and it comes through the TV screen, and I've never been to that rink, so hopefully I'll get there at some stage. But the atmosphere, and I put it in my article, just bottle it up and send it around the country, because you're not going to get much better than that. It looked awesome on the coverage. The aesthetics of it looked awesome, and just coming through the feed was terrific.
Yeah, I have to say it was a really good call as well by Sledge, who was returning, and I think it's Cage is his name, Cage Thompson. That was just, they're not the normal commentators for the Braves, so they really stepped up and produced a really good call.
We've got Paul Finesse. Sorry, just I need hearing protection next weekend. It was loud at Canberra. And hello to Mark Hopwood. Sorry, Sean.
No, Courtney and Gordon, do either of you guys have any comments about that game?
Not so much the Brave game, but that Melbourne Ice versus Rhinos game was something special to watch. To see the Rhinos come out against a team that's been in such fine form and with on their winning streaks, it was just I just was on the edge of my seat and screaming every time the Rhinos did great things. So I think that team overall is just getting better every single week, and they just keep proving us right. I think we comment this every week, and they go out and do it again on the weekend.
Yeah, I thought that the Bears, we mentioned it last week, that the Bears have sometimes won games without playing their best, but I thought that they were pretty good against Canberra. It was just a really good performance by the Brave, and I agree, Sean. I really do think that can be a season-defining moment for the Brave. It's got that potential. That they're kind of finally back, and there's some dispute about that, and sure we need some time, but they look pretty good. But yeah, I was also there at the rink. There was a good contingent on Sunday of Melbourne Mustangs fans that had travelled both up to Brisbane and then to Sydney. So a tough weekend for the Mustangs, for both the team and the fans, but some really good support for them. Thomas Flack scored a really good goal in that game. It was 3-2 at one stage, and then the Bears put it to bed fairly early in the third. But I thought it was a brave performance by the Mustangs, being shorthanded.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was another thing just on the Mustangs that was in my article. It's a long way back now for the Mustangs, and my question was, is the season done? They pretty much have to be flawless and have results go their way for the rest of the campaign.
Yeah, and then we come across to the North Stars and Perth game, which was also another phenomenal game, much like the earlier game on Sunday. And yeah, exciting finish. How many people ended up taking a shot in that shootout?
9 rounds.
Yeah, 9 rounds.
9 rounds to separate it. Oh, it's great.
Natasha Denton, just in the comments, Thunder versus North Stars games were a bit too close for comfort. Of course, being a Thunder fan, could barely stand the shootout. Yeah, pretty nervous.
Yeah, I thought the North Stars, they played really well across that entire weekend, but were just unable to get a result or get a win on the board. I actually thought they performed really, really well. When I was watching that Saturday game, I thought they were really, really unlucky not to get something out of that game.
Yeah, it's one of those examples of a time when a team plays really well over an entire weekend and comes away with 1 point. You'd be bitterly disappointed because it's not representative of the effort put in.
Yeah, and just touching on the Rhinos too, before we move on, what Courtney was saying, I was really impressed with the Rhinos on that Sunday game against the Ice, and I think I put it in our Slack chat. It felt like they were tilting the Ice at some stages as well. They were just dominant. That first period, they deserved a bigger lead than what they took into the first intermission with that 1-goal lead. They really did. They outworked the Ice. They outshot the Ice, and they performed really well.
Yeah, okay. I think that's a good roundup, guys.
Yeah, just to shout out to some first goal scorers in that Melbourne Ice Sydney Ice Dogs game. Spencer Nave for the Melbourne Ice, and Stephen Olkin for the Sydney Ice Dogs. And then Billy Cliff scored his first goal since 2018 in that game as well. So a bit of love for some first time goal scorers, and droughts ended as well. And then
yeah, and I think Olkin actually ended up getting man of the match for the Ice Dogs as well.
Yeah, so that was well done for him. Rhinos were excellent from Phil Taylor, only beaten by the post. Mark Hopwood, North Stars, agreed, was gutted when Ethan didn't get that power play goal. Phil Taylor, yes. Jeremiah Addison's shootout performance was unreal. Shades of TJ Oshie. Hi, Tori. And thank goodness, yes, that Jeremiah Addison was there.
I wonder how many times people score 3 from 3 in a shootout in ice hockey. I can't imagine it's very often.
No, I'm betting Charlie Smart is it's hoping he doesn't see Jeremiah Addison anytime soon.
Alrighty.
I think.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I just wanted to say, just on the Lightning, it was a massive win for the Lightning in terms of their conference. But they've got a really unusual schedule, the Lightning. So they'll play this Saturday, but then they won't play another game, unless I'm totally wrong. They won't play another game until the 22nd of June. So I don't know. Sometimes it can work in your favor where you have a bit of a break, but I feel like if you've got a big win against the reigning champions on your home ice, you want to try and keep that momentum going. And then if you only got one game and then another one game this Saturday, then you don't play again till the 22nd of June. I wonder how that could potentially affect the momentum of the Lightning.
Yeah, that's a big break. Yeah, I totally agree. It could very much, sort of reset, all that momentum that they've currently got, and kind of, they have to start again. But I think they also had another break earlier in this season for quite a bit of time too. Next topic.
You want to move on to the standings?
Yeah, take us through them, Doogie.
All right. So we have the Are You OK standings, as Phil Taylor has named it. So after the weekend's matches, we have the North Stars still sitting on top with 26 points. The Lightning second on 17. The Brave in third on 15. The Rhinos in fourth on 10. And the Adrenaline in fifth on 6 points. We did talk about the Brave getting a big win, and they're just inching closer and closer to squeezing those top two, making it a little bit hot under the collar for the North Stars and the Lightning. I'm big on the Brave, and I think they're going to really make a strong run for the top spot. Very interesting.
I totally agree, Doogie. I find that whole thing that the Lightning have basically responded the last 2 weeks to the Brave suddenly picking up a lot of points to keep themselves in second. It's quite interesting.
But if you look at the teams that are outside the playoff picture, if the Rhinos win those 2 games in hand, they go above the Brave, right? And if you look at the Adrenaline, if they win their 4 games in hand over the Lightning, they go ahead of the Lightning. So I know people are like, the Hellier Conference is, you've got the 3 top teams in the league all in that conference. But if you're after a playoff race, this is the conference that's going to provide the most interesting storylines and changes in the back half of the season.
And the Rhinos, so they play Adelaide in Adelaide. So that's going to be massive.
And last season, those games were phenomenal games. Rhinos in Adelaide.
They were the only two games Rhinos won all season last year. So I'm sure they'll be hoping to follow that again this season. But I also think the North Stars Brave game on the 29th of this month, that'll be a big one for both teams. I think sort of finishing off that series of playing against each other. I think it's a crucial one for North Stars to win, but one that the Brave are going to be very hungry for in their own rink.
Courtney, I don't know if I'm right on this. I think I am. But if the North Stars win, it'll be the first time the North Stars fully sweep the series versus the Brave since 2014.
Yeah, correct. So it's been a long time since we've done that. So, yeah, I think North Stars fans out there will agree. We're very much hoping for a good result. So, and I know a number of fans are going to track down there to watch and cheer them on.
And I think when you look at the North Stars sitting on top, and we talk about the Brave and the Lightning still hanging around, and the Rhinos potentially with those games in hand, GG, with the North Stars welcoming the Ice and the Thunder this weekend, they can really stamp their claim as a real contender this season. If they can get 2 wins back to back on home ice against 2 quality oppositions, they'll solidify themselves at the top there.
I also think that this table also just showcases how crazy the AI schedule ends up being every season, where you have teams that are on vastly different amount of games played, like Adelaide 11, Braver on 16. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yep, that's exactly what Paul Finesse wanted us to mention. Games played in Rurak. Worth mentioning, Tory Diver, don't jinx us, Sean, is the message from Tory. And Andrew John Egan is is on the Rhinos to storm in.
All right, we can move across to the Hell Yeah conference. And the Melbourne Ice find themselves at the number 1 spot once again with 40 points. The Bears in second spot, 39. The Thunder in third on 32. The Mustangs in fourth on 17 points. The Ice Dogs in fifth on 11 points. What do we all see from this conference here? It looks like it's pretty set in stone, as we mentioned before, unless the Mustangs are absolutely lights out for the rest of the season and they have results go their way. But it looks
the
like
golf
those
is
top,
massive.
yeah. It looks like the top 3 are the top 3 at this time of the year, which is disappointing in a way as a hockey fan. You want to see it go down to the wire in that playoff race, as you said before, GG, with the RURAC conference. But what do we see from this conference?
Well, this weekend at Macquarie Ice Rink, all 3 teams are going to be playing. We'll get to that a bit later, obviously, but the Thunder have 2 games in hand on the Bears, 7 points in behind. So that's really close, and Perth match up well against the Bears traditionally. And the Melbourne Ice play the Bears on Sunday for the second time this season. So there's a bit of intrigue around there. I think there'll potential for some movement in that top 3.
I think it's a real battle over who's actually going to take that top spot this season in the Hell Yeah conference.
I think it makes any game that involves the Ice and the Bears very exciting to watch, to see who's going to come out with the points. And when it's 1 point difference for that top spot to not have to play on the Friday, I feel like they'll be hungry for that. And so there's certainly 2 teams to watch closely just to see who's going to actually hit that point and maybe pull away, or if it's going to stay this close all the way to the end.
Well, we could have top spot change twice across the weekend if the results fall a certain way. We could have the Bears on top after Saturday, and then the Ice could be back on top on the Sunday.
Exciting times.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
so they are the standings,
GG.
So I don't know if do we want to go into our highlights before we get into game of the week? Sean's running game of the week, I think. But we've got some highlights here, so I don't know if you want to, or Courtney, sorry. Do you want to do the highlights first, and then we can get into game of the week?
Yeah, let's do it, mate. Whatever you reckon.
Well, we've got some self praise here from the Canberra game that we were notified about, and especially Tristan Metcalf, our colleague at Hockey Hype Australia, who's either got the feet up right now or on the couch or is headed off to bed. But we'll chuck this video up first. Love a bit of praise with what we're doing here.
And Tristan Metcalf, as always, has delivered when we need him. They have killed 47 out of 56 penalties against.
That's a stat I like to hear. That's unreal.
After that, Gage, 48 out of 57.
That's an unreal. See, these guys, they're good.
Yes, if you haven't followed Hockey Hype Australia, get onto it. They are the best media in Australian ice hockey, and I rely on them for a lot of my hockey news. Back to the game.
So I love Tristan getting the shout out on the Brave coverage, and a bit of love for Hockey Hype Australia.
It's been a lot of fun just seeing how we've been taken in by the AIHL fan base. So it's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, I think our stats are very very welcomed by a lot of the commentators around the league.
Yeah, no, it's I appreciate immensely the spreadsheet that Tristan Metcalf has as well. And Sean O'Connor, your milestones that are coming up and approaching are really useful, because sometimes the stats on the AIHL stats page is different from others. But yeah,
I tell you what, though, it is really hard overall just with AI stats in general, because you can't necessarily always trust what's on the AIHL website. You can't necessarily trust what's on EP, because there's lots of stats missing everywhere.
Yep.
So it can be quite difficult.
Natasha Denton, given some love, appreciate Hockey Hype, the output, and Brett Parker, good to see you Sunday, GG. Not the result we wanted. Proud of how the guys played with minimal lines. Always fun to travel regardless of the result. It is really cool seeing like away fans, like just like a group of away fans, and giving support to the team. It's so cool.
And I think we've seen this season a general uptick in the amount of people traveling for games.
And I think Brett and the contingent are going up for the Canberra trip as well. I think so. You'll see Brett in the big orange hoodie. You can't miss him on the coverage. We've got a returning Melbourne Ice player here as well. It returned in a big way. Raymond Kramer returned, put up some big numbers and scored a big goal.
Through, Ashita says no. It's loose in front. Melbourne are away. A great chance for Kramer here. Shot, score! Kramer with a dagger. 2 minutes into overtime. Another brilliant lead pass out of their own zone, and Melbourne go home happy with the extra point in overtime. The replay here, Kramer just opened up a world of space for himself and then goes far post and in. An unfortunate break there for...
He absolutely
really good finish. Yeah. Oh, he does. Really good finish. A dagger to the Rhinos. But for the Ice to slot someone like Raymond Kramer into the lineup seamlessly like that, it just keeps adding to the depth.
Yeah, and like it was such a big moment as well, because there was a lot of momentum with the Rhinos making sure they gets to OT. They're at home, big crowd, and then he does that. That's just home crowd silencer like every day of the week.
I want to shout out the commentators too. Ben Chalker commentates the Rhinos, and his excitement for the Ice is just as much as he'd be excited if it was Rhinos. And I like that balance in his commentary. It's I think something you said the other week, Duke, is like it's about the storylines, not necessarily being there for one team. And I love that about those commentators.
And with that sequence of play, the Rhinos were sort of on top. They were getting, I think they had like 3 or 4 sort of opportunities, and then they sort of got caught pinching a little bit, and Kramer was able to break free, but just unlucky. Sticking on that Ice Rhinos game, Mackenzie Bolger with a beautiful goal to open things up.
For an outlet, he's made the pass down the ice. Here comes Bolger. He's on a break. He gets a shot. Score! An incredible breakout pass from Xander Wardlaw springs Mackenzie Bolger using all of that speed we spoke about early on in the game, and just pots one under the glove of Tatsushi Nishida.
That just came from some great patience in the defensive zone there. Beautiful goal.
Lovely lead pass, and then from center ice, Bolger was away. No one able to catch him.
What a celebration as well. He's such an excitement machine, Bolger. Like the Rhinos have been so lucky to get him this season, and he really is explosive.
Before the season, I sort of mentioned that he could be the signing of the season going up there to the Rhinos. And I'm so glad to see him performing the way he is, leading the Rhinos with points and getting a goal like that on the weekend.
In the handful of games I've been able to watch of the Rhinos, he's been instrumental in so much of their offensive play. So, yeah, in that game, it was nice to see him get some points, particularly, as we said, against Melbourne Ice, who have been in such good form.
We do have a video here of Joey Hughes, who continues to get the job done week in, week out. And I did love this goal because he was standing waiting for a change, and straight off the bench gets the puck and does his thing and puts it in the back of the net.
Some good work in there by the Ice Dogs trying to clear it out. Hughes just does a good job keeping it in the zone. Gets around Mussini. And what a goal by Joey Hughes. We know why he's got his name on the Goodall Cup so often with performances like that in traffic.
Well, it's his 451st point for Joey Hughes, second goal of the game, 202nd AIHL goal of his career. And you can see why he scored so many goals. He just goes inside, outside, and then puts the puck, shoots across the body of Arvid Lung and into the side of the net. What a beautiful goal by Joey Hughes as the Ice Dog.
Can't get away from you, Gordon.
Watching that
good goal.
I'm pretty sure, is Joey Hughes the only player that's got his name on the Goodall Cup 6 times? Not with the same team? I'll have to check with Tristan, but I'm pretty sure he's on there 6 times.
I thought he might be on there 7 times.
Up to 7? Because definitely, is there the 3P? And then at least...
Is there for
at
2
least
Campbell?
2 with the Brave, if not 3.
And
I'll
he
have to
did the
check that.
Mustangs.
Yeah, you could be right, Courtney. 100%.
Yeah,
I think it just emphasizes the point. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, 7. I think it just emphasizes the point of what an incredible player he is to be at that level.
Yeah, and like this season, coming back from the Brave, back home to Melbourne, playing for the Ice for the first time in how many years. And he's like, what, 5th in the scoring charts or something in the league at the moment? Like, he's absolutely destroying it this season.
Yep, we have the points leaders graphic we will chuck up soon. He definitely is in that 5th spot, Sean, 100%. We've got 2 more videos, GG, and then we can move it on. This play here between Hikosaka and Tenasalme is probably one of my favorite bits of play this season. The work from Hikosaka and the finish from Tenasalme is just absolutely elite.
Thunder win the draw. They chip it out of the zone. Down comes... Oh! What a goal! What a goal! As number 11 for the Thunder gets it across to Tenasalme, number 19, for the second shorthanded goal of the game as the Thunder broke out. And that puts them up 2-0. You'll see on the replay here, nice little chip as Hikosaka gets it passed over to Tenasalme. He goes down on one knee and buries it top shelf.
I think that Hikosaka chipping that off the boards and then chasing that puck down, but not only chasing it down, getting it past someone like Ethan Hawes, and that's not easy to do, trying to get past someone like Ethan, and then to collect it and have the vision to know that Tenasalme is there, and then the finish from Tenasalme is just as good. That whole sequence of play is just unreal.
Yeah, and like Hawes tried his hardest to stop him going through, and he was like, "No, I'm going to keep going."
Yeah, Hikosaka's a weapon, and like he scored shorthanded against the Ice Dogs the other weekend, and now he provides the assist this time shorthanded. Like, teams on the power play are gonna have to be aware of Hikosaka and whether he's paired with Benjamin Berard or Tenasalme. Like they're gonna score some shorties this season.
The final video we got, we did mention it was 9 rounds of the shootout on Sunday. Addison gets the winning goal. I think Addison scored 3 in the shootout. Basically, I think going to the same spot every single time. Must have a wicked release, and then a save at the end.
Keep track of the count of
say we get what we pay for, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Addison in, takes a shot, and he scores again.
Yeah, that release Addison's got, and just that move, he makes that fake, pulls it forehand, backhand. Pulls it to his backhand, pulls it to forehand, and lets that release go. And just inside the post, he's got that perfect spot over that pad and under that blocker.
So Muellen's going to score, and he loses control of it as he tries to go with that forehand, backhand, and Bertrand forces him to miss.
Yeah, Yule made a good move. He did have the net open, but again, when they don't clean the ice here, it's just the puck rolled on him, and he just couldn't get the backhand on it, and Thunder take the overtime win points.
Exciting
It's a
times.
big win.
What was that, Courtney?
I'm not a fan of shootouts. I don't think I ever will be.
They definitely destroyed the nerves.
Player that likes a shootout. Give me 3-on-3 overtime for as long as it takes.
I was just going to
a big win.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
No, I was just going to say it was a big win for the Thunder, and I think Bertrand is really, really having an outstanding season for the Thunder as well.
Yeah, there's a bit of a French connection there, isn't there? You had the old Buffalo Sabres French connection line with Gilbert, Perrault. Well, you've got like the French kind of influence lines over in Perth with Berthiaume, and you've got Perrault, who's obviously played in France, and Berard, and so it's a really good combo at the moment. That they look to have got their imports spot on. But just going through some comments, Tori Diver, jeez. I was in Perth for the weekend, was made to feel part of the family by them, love hockey cousins. And Natasha Denton just asking, glad we made you feel welcome. Were you that voice screaming out for the North Stars? Andrew John Egan mentioning that Crispy is legit. The Yu Hikosaka assist, that was special. Yu is making his presence felt at Thunder, absolutely. Jeffrey Allen Roth, Thunder played well, should have scored before the shootout. Andrew John Egan, chip, chase, dish, snipe, wheel, snipe, Sally on the Yu Hikosaka to Tenasalmi combo. Jeffrey Allen Roth, Thunder lineup is legit, whatever it takes. That's the quote that Ben Bro gave you for your article, Doogie. Anthony Russell from Banners on the Wall. Follow him for all things UK hockey. Hikosaka is going to end up being called 2020. The dude's vision is insane. Natasha Denton flexing. And the Jeffrey Allen Roth Addison release is faster than it looks. Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's impressive. Addy Hattie and the shooty. I don't know, it was pretty quiet as I was standing on my own, so not the shouting from Tori Diver. 3v3 hockey from Andrew John Egan to the death. No more shootout. And then Osane Courtney was telling the players off after the game, but they agreed with me. No more shootouts. And then Phil Taylor as well coming in with a French connection line. Thanks for all the comments, and thanks for your patience, peeps.
Courtney is really like speaking the voice of the people here. You really tapped into something, Courtney.
I think an aspect of I play, so I think I sort of, I don't know, my perspective of when I play, I hate when we get put into a shootout situation. So I like it when
does it happen often for you?
No, thank goodness.
Do you have a signature move, Courtney?
I'm not very good at shootouts, but I shoot left, so I'll go in on my forehand, drag it across, and try and backhand it in like Yule did. It's worked once. I haven't had a shootout since.
100% record. Perfect.
Yep, I like it that way.
Could you imagine a Friday night derby that just keeps going, and we're at midnight and it's like 4 overtimes and it's just going and going? It'd be unreal.
Macquarie O'Brien's like, lights out, guys. We're going home.
Can only imagine the bill that comes up.
Yeah, there's like public skaters skating in between while 3-on-3 hockey is still going on. And Phil Taylor going to sell the notes to Courtney's opposition goalies. Phil Taylor is the mole on the scouting mission. Unstoppable in the shootout. If I don't know where it's going, goalie has no chance. Yes, the inadvertent Kucherov move, as I like to call it. Shall we get on to game of the week? What do you reckon?
We'll do the points leaders first, and then we can switch over to game of the week.
Yeah.
So here are the points leaders after week 9 of the competition, and we have a new person on top. Obviously, helped with Scott Timmins unable to play. Adam Cadillac on top with 38, Timmins 37, Addison 34 in third, Drolet in fourth on 34. Joey Hughes moves up a spot to 31, and Lucas Herman slides into number 6 with 31 points as well. Herman, someone I put in my article this week. Just, I don't know about what you think, GG, but just seems to be quietly going about his business with no fuss. Like, I don't know, like when you go through the online groups like AI fans and you read the comments, etc., from the 3 stars and things like that, doesn't seem to be a lot of love in the comments for Lucas, but just going about his business nice and quietly and just getting the job done.
He's really effective, and if you filter by points per game, like he's at what 2.3, 2.4 points per game played, which is elite. So yeah, he's been great, and if you watch his game, like he backchecks really hard as well on stick lifts and takes the puck away. So if he was in the NHL, he'd be a Selke nominee. Like that's the equivalent he is in the AI. I'm not saying he's that level, but that's kind of what he brings. He's like a really good Patrice Bergeron type player for the Bears. He's really good.
It's like one of those quiet achievers, right? It's kind of like I think of Josh Adkins last season for the North Stars. He ended up with so many points, but he kind of did it quietly. He just bobbed along, and at the end of the season, you're like, how did he do this?
Yeah, it's wild though, right? Because I think Cadlick flies under the radar a bit too. He had a 10-point weekend the other week, and he didn't make team of the week or oh god, I'm isolated. He didn't make team of the week or the 3 stars, and no one really complained about it, which was interesting. And we get complaints from people when someone who scored 4 points in a weekend isn't included, and both are legitimate. People can think what they like, but I think Cadlick has been putting together an impressive season, so it's nice to see him at the top of the leaderboard as well. And I'm done, Doogie. You can put me back with the group. Thank you.
But one thing I did notice about that is that Joey Hughes is the only, I guess, recognized local there, but we also had Drolet up there and Timmins, who are almost adopted locals now. So yeah, it's good to see a good mix of both, new import and then local talent.
Yep, I agree, mate. So that's the points leaders. GG.
All right, let's go game of the week. Take it away, Courtney.
I know we've covered a lot on this game already so far, but there's a couple of points I think are worth making that we haven't commented on yet. And that being 2 teams that are very highly offensive attacking teams only getting 1 goal in the first period each and 1 goal in the third period, which is what took us to overtime. So to me, a 2-2 scoreline seems very small for the power that both of these teams have. But one of the biggest things for me is that the final shot counts and shots on goal were 41 shots for Newcastle and 43 for Perth Thunder. And that's, I feel, is quite substantial to that scoreline, that only 2 got through on each end. So for Charlie Smart, that means a 9.53 save percentage, and for Leo Bertain a 9.51. So the game wasn't only incredible to watch with a 9-round shootout that I don't know that I've ever seen in my 10 years of watching hockey, but those percentages and those many shots on were phenomenal. So, and there was a comment earlier, just I think Sean said it, just the way North Stars played, and that sentiment was shared with me from Coach Kevin Noble that he was really proud at the buy-in of the team. They put everything on the line, and when you're down players like Riley Klugerman and Wahid Daj, it takes its toll on an away trip. So overall, I think this game was worthy of Game of the Week because there's more than just one thing that made it incredible to watch. There's like 5 or 6 points there that make it a really great game. So anyone out there that didn't see it, I watch the replay, even though you know the score, because there's just so much happening. Some good neutral zone play. There's good forward checking. There's great back checking. Like the goalies put on a great show, and I love that for Charlie. When he's from Perth, lots of friends and family there. Same for Drew Robson on the North Stars, both of them from over there. And yeah, I thought it was great. So I feel like that's the vibe in the team.
Plus, you'll say quite a few players over on the Perth side as well.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, Courtney, what a game like that means for Charlie Smart and his confidence? Because even though he didn't get the win, the .953 save percentage is actually the highest save percentage for him in any game this season.
It's a conversation I'm going to have with him on the weekend, but 100% when he got injured a month or so ago at Macquarie, we had Monty in net for a game to give him time to recover, and to come out and have a performance like that in Perth. As I said, friends and family there. I think he'd be riding cloud nine for a bit. Yeah, not the win, but that percentage and that performance to face that many shots, only let 2 in, and then that final shootout goal, which I don't count. I think he'd be stoked, and I'm keen to talk to him on the weekend about it.
I must admit, I do think it's really harsh on goaltenders to give him a loss for a shootout result.
Yeah. I don't think that weekend really represented how well the North Stars played, but Perth were the better team, so they got the points.
And on that Sunday game, Sunday game, not many penalties. Like it was either the officials have put away the whistle, or it was a very friendly game and everyone just sort of passing the puck around, which it wasn't. Both teams were going head to head, so it was good to see that the game just flowed too, with not a lot of whistles at all.
Yeah, look, six penalties in contrast to the North Stars alone had 9 on the Saturday night, and I think Perth had 3 or 4. You spoke to Ben Bro this morning, and as he says, there's not a lot of time to connect plays and get that momentum and get lines together and get them working when you've just got constant whistles stopping and jumping from end to end. And yeah, the special teams all stepped up, and the North Stars defended, I think, 6 or 7 of their 9 penalties with no goals against them. So their special teams were going well. But on the other side, Perth really need to work on their power play line to capitalize on more of those opportunities. So I think we saw a much better game with more 5-on-5 and less in the box, less whistles, and the game certainly went a lot faster.
That's good analysis, Connie.
Yeah, we've got some comments in the chat. Both goalies were elite. From Natasha Denton, Paul Finesse, underestimate Thunder at your peril this year. Only 2 teams.
I think you can make that a really good meme.
Only 2 teams have beaten the Perth Thunder this year. Can you name those 2 in 10 seconds or less? Dun,
nope.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 Melbourne Ice.
Bears?
Dun, 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 dun. Brisbane Lightning season opener 8-6.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
At Boondall. And the Ice beat them twice, as Corey Kutina has just mentioned. So, but only 2 teams have managed to beat the Thunder, so they do run deep. Jeffrey Allen Roth, Smart played out of this world. Thunder should have won in regulation, but Smart denied with massive saves. Natasha Denton with the flex. Tory Diver, no Matthews in defense on Sunday night. He scored a beauty goal on the power play, I think, on Saturday. So big loss from them. So much better game Sunday without the whistles. Yes, Corey Kutina and the Lightning. And Alita Jakovitz, Ice twice. Nice. Yes.
One of the things I do like about the Thunder, and I know you mentioned they run deep, GG, but I think they have a really good mixture of having a deep roster, but they match their skill with their no nonsense. Like they're not going to back down. Like they've got some players on that roster as well that will stick up for a teammate, that will get in gritty and dirty. So I think they've got a really good mix. And I noticed that when I watched them play down in Melbourne, they've got a really good mix of skill, but also that sort of hard-nosed, hard-edge type of hockey that you obviously need to go deep into finals and to win the cup, to have that sort of no-nonsense where when you're going out on the ice, you know you're in for a contest.
Well, this is why they brought over JFK and Zane, right? Give them that hard-edgeness. It's great. And another player who really performed on the weekend, Kieran Webster for the Thunder. He was phenomenal. And when you have that level of performance coming from the secondary scoring, it's great.
Thunder, a good balance of steak and sizzle. Good call, according to Andrew John Egan. And Kate McDonald up the Lightning. Yes, Lightning 2 wins in a row, snapping a 6-game skid too. So hopefully the Lightning can keep things going. Curtis Mager in his last 2 games, 2 wins, 1.00 goals against average, 0.964 save percentage, 53 saves on 55 shots. So go Curtis Mager as well for the Lightning. And Jeffrey Allen Roth, Thunder's young guns, played huge whilst 5 big game players were at Worlds. Yes, they definitely did. I think, it'll be interesting to see the national team next year, but I'd be surprised if there weren't a lot of Thunder players on it in Melbourne. They've got such good local talent.
Yeah, I agree.
The key to success in this league. You can bring in a few good imports, but you need that local talent depth to be able to really go far.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what the Mustangs had last year. You look at the Mustangs squad in 2023, it was chock-a-block full of great local talent.
Yep. So what do you reckon? Shall we preview next weekend's games, everyone? We're ready to do that. So we do have a Saturday and Sunday doubleheader between the Rhinos and Adrenaline at Ice Arena. The Ice Dogs play the Brisbane Lightning in the single game of the weekend for both teams at Boondall. The Ice travel to New South Wales to play Newcastle on Saturday and the Bears on Sunday. A huge weekend for them. The Thunder travel to play the Bears, and then the Thunder play the North Stars on Sunday. The Mustangs play the Brave in a double header over the weekend. So if you look at these matchups, there's some pretty tasty looking options for viewing this weekend. What's everyone going to be watching?
Well, I'm obviously really keen for the North Stars game, so I think facing both Melbourne Ice and Perth Thunder at home will be big. And I actually asked the coach how he felt about actually competing against Perth at home. And he said, if anything, away, there's a little bit less pressure because he likes the team to perform in front of the home crowd. So I think those 2 games are going to be great. And I'll be commentating those. So anyone out there that wants a shout out, send me a message. So
it's a massive weekend for the Hellier division, like conference. Like those games, like this is basically the Battle of Hellier. It's insane. I will, of course, be at the Brave games. So I'll get to see the Mustangs for the first time this season. It'll be great.
I think those first 2 games that are on that list there, the Rhinos and the Adrenaline, and then the Ice Dogs and the Lightning, I think they're going to be 2 really good games, just for all different reasons. Obviously, the Rhinos and the Adrenaline are still sort of hanging around, and the Ice Dogs with the Lightning, they'll want to continue to build on the win and try and keep that conference pressure up on the Brave, etc. But the Ice Dogs hang around. Like the Ice Dogs, even when the Ice Dogs lost to the Brave recently, it was a no scoring first period, and then they had a bit of a dip, and then they scored in the third and got outscored 2-1 in the third, but they just hang around the Ice Dogs. So, like in any given day, the Ice Dogs can get a win against anyone in the competition. So I think those two games, for me anyway, I'm really excited to watch those two games, and then the rest of them, the Ice and the North Stars, the Thunder and the Bears and the Mustangs, it's just jam packed with quality hockey games.
I look at this and I just think of the stories that are going to come out from this weekend.
Yeah.
There's so many things to talk about.
Just on what you're saying there, Dukes, I spoke to Coach Jace Quisler this yesterday just about the Ice Dog season so far, and he commented on how they've had a lot of really great starts to games where they've been up 3-0 or they've been up by a couple of goals, and then they're just hitting a point in the game where a couple of goals go against, and then the floodgates open. So I know for him in particular, this weekend is a big one where he's hoping to work with the team and really tighten up defensively and just tighten up overall to get the lead and then not give it up.
Yeah, they have been at times this season guilty of just these moments where they suddenly concede 1 and then 2 and 3. And yeah, it's hard then for them to come back. And they often do start to come back. It's just, yeah, it's a bit of an issue for them.
You think about this weekend's allotment of games. If the Mustangs go to Canberra and just for instance, they sweep the weekend and the Rhinos go to Adelaide. But next week on this show next week, we're talking about potentially the Brave not being in the top 3.
Yeah, that's right.
That could potentially happen if the Rhinos get results and the Mustangs.
And we're also talking about the Mustangs suddenly being back in the picture, especially if Perth, lose their 2 games this weekend, which they could most conceivably do against 2 very good teams.
I could win the lottery tomorrow too. So, there's... we've got...
also...
Yep, sorry, Sean.
I was going to say one thing... Go on.
No, just on that, Jeffrey Allen Roth, Mustangs are cooked, folks, and Andy John Egan adding the but been put in a frozen lasagna. I think they do get Scott Timmins back and Ty Wishart, so that they'll have the 2, but the Klomp is the big loss for them.
No, awesome. I won't say what I was going to say. I was going to mention is that the fact that when you look at the league at the moment, people are at the moment having a bit of a whinge about there's one strong conference and one weak conference. But if you look at the entire league ladder at the moment, you kind of got like a group of 4 teams at the top, a group of 3 teams sort of mid-table, and then another group of 3 down the bottom. So it's actually quite close and quite competitive overall throughout the league. It just doesn't necessarily appear that way.
We've got Tori Diver wants a shout out, Courtney. So remember that one. Natasha Denton with an interesting stat. I was just driving, so missed out while you were talking about them. But shout out to Thunder's Rob Hazelhurst for his 51st goal, most as a D-man. Is that correct? We'll have to find out. Get Tristan onto that. He won Skaters Network Player of the Week though, which was quite cool.
He did. It's so rare for a defenseman ever to win that Skaters Network Player of the Week. Because it's so much of the criteria is based on like goals and assists and points, and so it's really hard for a defenseman.
And Sean Higgs with those matchups, good excuse for a New South Wales roadie for long weekend for Ice fans. So
and Sean Higgs and the Bell End fan group, they get around the league too. They go traveling everywhere, so it'd be good to see them out on the road again.
I'm going to have to say goodbye, guys. I got to run and go and play a late hockey game, so I will catch you next week.
Yeah, catch you, Courtney. Thanks for joining. Thanks for taking us through Game of the Week too. And I look forward to hearing about your shootout move if it works.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys.
Cheers.
See you, Courtney.
Yeah.
What's left, peeps? Are we just about done?
Yeah, that's it, mate.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll have to get the team of the week and the 3 stars up at a later date this week on socials.
Yeah, that was someone's fault for not having that done. We don't need to talk about whose fault it was, but I will have that done tomorrow. So we will have that done. Phil Taylor, Hockey Hype is cooked. Yes, like a Mustang. We are cooked. But yes, that's it. Thanks for next week. This Jeffrey Allen Roth. Next week, can you guys start doing your weekly picks? Like, do you mean score predictions for the games?
Oh man,
is that what you mean, Jeffrey? Because Doogie, I can tell he loves that idea, and he's all for it.
We would be terrible at this. Like, trying to predict this league is the hardest thing ever. Like, if we actually started like a tipping comp on this, like for predictions, like I'd struggle to see anyone doing well.
Yeah, well, thank you. That means a lot to me.
Maybe it's a plan for next season. Hockey Hype Australia AI tipping comp.
Yep. That's tipping comp. Set yourselves up for a Poland. Exactly, Andrew John Egan. It's good to have plausible deniability. Tori Diver thinks it would be super. Tipping comp from Jeffrey Allen Roth, and yes, Corey Katina wants to see that as well. So yes, let's kick the can down the road to next year. We're rebuilding this year. We're putting our roster in place. So Paul Gain agreeing that it would be a mint idea. But any final words? Okay, tips. The bookies friend. Oh god.
Yeah. Oh no.
Terrible.
So thank you for joining us. Oh, sorry, Doogie, you do have a final thought?
No, I don't, mate. No. No, we've got some articles. We've got some articles coming out.
Yes.
A series, GG.
Yes, we do. So we are doing mid-season reports on all the AIHL teams. Adelaide Adrenaline was published yesterday by Sean O'Connor, who got us off to a great start. And then I've just published the Lightning article in a panic today at 7:20, just before the show. Tomorrow we've got the Canberra Brave article coming out, so expect to see them out over the next 2 weeks. We'll get through all teams in alphabetical order with a little grade that we're just making up on the spot, looking at key performers, etc. So keep an eye out on the website for that. If you would like to listen, of course, going through again, you can watch the replay of the video on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and on Facebook. You can download a copy on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as a podcast. And if you are interested in sponsoring the show and helping us to stop bleed money based on all the betting that we're doing from Sean's tips, let us know, and we can highlight your brand on our show. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. As always, tell your friends, subscribe to channels, all that kind of jazz if you want to. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but enjoy some great hockey. We've got some excellent hockey this weekend, and look forward to hearing your thoughts about it on the show next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Doogie.
Just before we go, GG, I've just noticed a comment there, and I think we've found Hockey Hype Australia's bookie for next season. So well done, Andrew John Egan, for putting your hand up and joining Hockey Hype Australia. He'll be keeping a book. He'll be keeping a book next season for our tipping competition. So good stuff, AJE.
Yes, but no, thank you so much for joining us. For Andrew McDougall, Sean O'Connor, and Courtney Kinniston, who's probably in the middle of a shootout right at the moment. I'm Gordon Goodenough. Good night. See you later, and see you next time.
See ya. Peace.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.